Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be conversion. We are going to be converting where we are dealing with either squared units or cubed units. From a conversion standpoint, this will probably be the most complicated of the conversions. Simply because you've got to, and it's not awful, it's just a matter of knowing what to do and when. So let's look at 3,000 meters squared, and we want to convert that into kilometers squared. If I look at a table and I try to find meters and kilometers, the only thing I'm going to find is 1 times 10 to the third meter is equal to 1 kilometer. That's all I'm going to find. I'm not going to find anything that says anything about squared. So what it means is I cannot use this conversion factor as it is written to perform the calculation. So what can I do in order to be able to use this conversion factor? The fact is, since I'm dealing with squared, you're going to have to square the entire conversion factor. That means that it is going to be 1 times 10 to the third squared, meter squared, equals 1 squared, kilometer squared. Now, 1 times 10 to the 3 squared is 1 times 10 to the 6 meter squared is equal to 1 squared is simply 1, and then we have kilometer squared. Now, because I have the units that I started with, which was meter squared, I can use this conversion factor. So 3,000 meters squared. I need to put the meters squared in the denominator. So that's going to be 1 times 10 to the 6th meters squared. And the kilometer squared will go into the numerator. Or in other words, we're talking about 0.003 kilometers squared. Now, just like before, we do have to pay attention to to significant digits. In this first number, there is only one significant figure. When you're talking about anything to do with metric prefix, even though we squared it, it's still an unlimited number of significant digits. So our answer should only have one significant digit since that was the measurement with the fewest. So we would report it as 0.003. Or you can report it, the other option is 3 times 10 to the minus 3 kilometers squared.
Where we found, like, how we need to convert it, how do we find 1 times 10 to the 3rd power for meters? Because I can't find meters.
You look for kilometers. Look for the kilometer in the metric prefix conversion.
So, okay. That's because we're going to kilometers. Gotcha.
Let's look at another example. Zero point zero 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 32 meter cubed is equal to how many centimeter cubed? Again, I don't have something that has meter cubed in it. So I'm going, but because meter cubed and centimeter cubed have the term meter in common, we're going to be using our prefix system. And our prefix system says 1 times 10 to the minus 2 meters is equal to 1 centimeter. Once again, you cannot use this conversion factor the way it is written, because a meter is not the same as a meter cubed. A centimeter is not the same as a centimeter cubed. So you're going to have to cube the entire conversion factor. When you do so, you get 1 times 10 to the minus 6 meter cubed is equal to 1 centimeter cubed. And I did it the same way as I did before. In other words, I took the 1 times the 1 times 10 to the minus 2 cubed meter cubed is equal to 1 cubed centimeter cubed. And that's how I got this value. So I did the same thing as I did previously. Now that I have meter cubed, I can actually use that value in my conversion. 1 times 10 to the minus 6 meter cubed is equal to 1 centimeter cubed. Or in other words, you get 32 centimeter cubed. You have to pay attention to significant digits. Our first value has only 2 significant digits. Even though we cubed it in order to get the correct conversion factor, this still started out as a metric prefix conversion factor, so they have an unlimited number of significant digits. The measurement with the fewest, therefore, had 2 significant digits, and that's why we recorded as, and so 32 would be our answer. Let's look at another example. 1.75 miles squared is equal to how many kilometers squared? So we're talking about distance here. We're talking miles and kilometers. When we look it up on our sheet, 1 mile is equal to 1.609344 kilometers. But you cannot use this because you don't have just miles. You have miles squared. So we have to square our conversion factor. So 1 squared miles squared is equal to 1.609344 squared kilometers squared. Or in other words, 1 mile squared is equal to 2.589988 kilometers squared. Now that it is in squared, we can use this conversion factor. 1.75 miles squared. 1 mile squared equals 2.589988 kilometers squared. Or in other words, we get 4.532479193 kilometers squared. Significant digits matter. In our first one, we have 3 significant digits. Now, with respect to the English to metric system, the imperial to metric system, the 1 is going to be an infinite number, but the other one is a measured number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 significant digits. The measurement with the fewest has 3 significant digits, and therefore our answer should only have 3 significant digits. And so we should record this answer as 4.53 kilometers squared. Questions so far? Just like Wednesday, you can have more than one conversion factor that you need to use. Example, 40,000 millimeters cubed equals how many kilometers cubed? Because they have the term meter in common, it's the metric prefix conversion factors. And if you look up the metric prefix conversion factors, 1 millimeter is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 3 meters. And 1 kilometer is equal to 1 times 10 to the third meters. You cannot use these conversion factors as is. You have to cube the conversion factors. So 1 millimeter cubed is going to equal 1 times 10 to the minus 9 meter cubed. And 1 kilometer cubed is going to equal 1 times 10 to the 9 meter cubed. Now that I have the meter cubed and the millimeter cubed and the kilometer cubed, now I can do the math. I have 40,000 millimeter cubed. I know that 1 millimeter cubed is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 9 meter cubed. And then I can get that into kilometer cubed. 1 kilometer cubed is going to equal 1 times 10 to the 9 meter cubed. Just like what we were doing on Wednesday, you will notice that my units cancel out. That's how I determined the order of what went in the numerator and what went in the denominator. When you key this into the calculator, whoops. You get 4 times 10 to the minus 14 kilometer cubed. Yes. Okay. So the way I type it into the calculator, and I'll show you both directions because it depends upon the calculator you have. When I keyed this into the calculator, I keyed in 40,000 times 1 second, comma, -9, divide by 1 second, comma, 9. And that's when I got my answer. Doing it this way takes into, and what it looks like on the calculator is it looks like this. That's what it looks like on the calculator. Now, if you don't have the EE button, the other way, and I'll get your hand in just a minute. The other way to key this in would have been 40,000 times, open parentheses, 1 times 10 to the -9, divided by, open parentheses, 1 times 10 to the 9. And it just depends upon your calculator. Your hand.
On the, like showing what it looks like in the calculator, on the second, after like the second comma and everything, after you put in the E, do you have to like use the little like this sign?
Okay, the question is, did you have to use the caret? Do you have to use the caret if you do this? The answer is no. The caret is, that's what this is called, as a caret. And you don't have to use that raised to the power symbol if you use the comma, the second and the comma button. 4 times 10 to the negative 14. It's technically the E stands for times and 10. Mhm. If neither of these work for your calculator, you're going to need to come see me. These are the most 2 common forms on a calculator. Other questions? Let me give you a few to do. Oh, it's frustrating me right now. I know this started around a little early. Did everybody get us to sign in? You say you did. Anybody else missing it? No, I now make That's one reason it came around early today. I was like, I'm not gonna
I'm coming.
So then,
So after I get out.
Yeah, think about this way, we just get cell phones, calculators, making sure you have a calculator by next Friday. Cell phones will not be allowed on Friday. On test days. Yes.
Oh, it's 0.00. Yeah, no, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible so I can stop. Oh, wait.
you have to.
This should be, that should be 1 year.
Oh, I see.
Well. You've been doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just blankly looked at it, I was like, finish the equation. It was interesting. It just depends on which one is crossing out. So like. Saying. Yeah, so if this right here on the top. I will actually, I'm ironic. Yeah, like all that.
Yeah, they told me the bad.
It's like in the middle. Yeah, so it's like yeah, it doesn't have to be like when they switched up the rhythm of it, so it separates the so it's either differentiate one or the other. Yeah, no, it's I don't know if you like sorry.
-3 times 2 is -6. Yes.
The beginning number is 0.9144. And then we times it by 2. So how did you?
Not times 2, squared. 0.9144 squared is 0.836. So it's not times 2.
I think she probably is. Unless she's like actually, but I guess. So I think she probably was confused. Yeah, no, that is. And then I went so much Okay, folks. Let's talk about the answer and see how things are going. So the very first is going what? That's a good thing. So the very first one is 7.6 centimeters square. Basically, even though you can't tell it, that was supposed to be a meter square. So what I did is I squared my metric conversion factor. 1 times 10 to the minus 2 squared is 1 times 10 to the minus 4. So that would be 1 times 10 to the minus 4 meter squared is equal to 1 centimeter squared. So I took the 0.00076 and divided it by 1 times 10 to the minus 4, and you got 7.6. From a significant figure standpoint, you had 2 significant figures, unlimited, unlimited. Since the measurement with the fewest had 2, your answer had 2. The next one, 750 yards squared is how many meters squared? It was 0.9144 meters is 1 yard. When you square 0.9144, you get 0.83613. So that is 0.83613 meters squared is 1 yard squared. The yard squared cancels out, leaving meters squared. Your answer came out to be 627 something. But when you look at your sig figs, you have 2 sig figs in your original number. 5 is what I listed here. That's an unlimited. So my answer could only have 2 sig figs, and that's why I rounded it to 630. Or you could have written it as 6.3 times 10 to the 2.
Okay, about the rounding part, should we should probably word that as much as possible, or like, when would it be safe round versus not safe?
You always pay attention to your significant digit rules.
Okay.
And in this case, that meant rounding.
Okay, so you just round it to 5.
Right.
Yeah,
The only time I don't round is when I've got another part of the problem still to do.
Okay, got it.
But if I am done with the problem, that's when I round.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then the last one needed 2 conversion factors, because 1 centimeter is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 2 meter. I squared that, so 1 centimeter squared is 1 times 10 to the minus 4 meters squared. 1 millimeter is 1 times 10 to the minus 3 meters. So I squared that, so 1 millimeter squared is 1 times 10 to the minus 6 meters squared. I made sure all my units canceled, and therefore I got 0.54 millimeters squared. Questions? I can guarantee, I wrote your test today. I haven't taken the test, so I haven't decided if it's too long or it's not too short. The question is always, is it too long? And so I haven't taken the test, but what I can guarantee is you're going to have one problem. You're going to have 3 metric prefix conversions. One of them is going to be a single conversion. One of them is going to be a double conversion. And one of them is going to require you to do a squared or a cube. You will have one problem where you'll be using the English to metric conversion. That's what I can guarantee as of right now. Like I said, I've got to do the rest of it to determine if it's too long and whether I got to cut some problems. That's a task for me this weekend. But I have gotten it written so far. As far as what you'll receive on the test, you will receive the top of that sheet, just like I've been saying, you'll receive the English to metric conversion, but you have to know your metric to metric. Okay, the question was, as of right now, how many questions are there? That is, I have to be careful how I answer that, because right now, question number 1 has 5 parts. But question number 1 is how many significant digits are in this number?
Okay.
So, there's 5 different numbers, and you just told me how many significant digits are in each. So when I say it's kind of misleading, there's only officially, I think, 8 problems, but some of them have those multiple pieces, like the one where you have to tell me the measurement to the correct significant digits has 3 right now. The one where you have to do a calculation, a general calculation, not with these conversion factors, and tell me the number of the measurement with the answer with the significant digits. There's 2 or 3 of those.
So I've got to really go through. I plan on Monday to be able to tell you exactly. But I already have told you what to study. That was on Blackboard last week and it's on Blackboard this week, but I'll actually know the answer to your question on Monday once I go through it. I got another question. Homework 3 is already there because it was the original homework 2. Quiz 3 comes out Monday morning at 8 a.m. It is due by Monday after evening, 11:59 p.m. So you just have to take it sometime that day on Monday. Okay, that is all I have for today. I will answer questions. Okay, so there's another conversion factor. I know, but they may have given you a different conversion factor. So they gave it the 1 pound is 453 grams. Oh, here it is. They gave 1 kilogram is 2.2046 pounds.
Okay, so do the same exact way, but with this table.
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, that's also, okay, the one thing is, can I claim a scientist for the bonus?
Yes, just send me an email so I have a report.
Okay, it's about the homework, but I also don't have a video next to I think I have it written down in my. It's confusing, like, on the homework, how we have to put things on the blocks, because some of it, like, it's just really confusing, like. Okay, you can go.
Who's getting outside?
So, when we're doing for the cubing, would that count as an exact attribute like cubed it?
The only thing that does is if it was a 1 to begin with, that's still an exact number.
So on my homework, like, so I didn't normally have the answer, but like, so all the options for the answer, like, you can type it, which is really confusing to me, because I don't really know. I did the whole thing.
You have this set up correctly, but that's not the correct answer.
Will it give you a different answer if you wrote something like 1E and then do a caret and then do that?
Yes,
Okay, that's probably it.
it should give you an incorrect answer if you do 1E and the caret.
Okay.
I don't know what it does, because you just have to do the 1E and
Just the number for
the exponent.
So maybe that's the whole thing that was messing me up, because it also is confusing me how, like, I don't know, it's hard to say, like, since I don't have it in front of me, but I was also doing the ed puzzle, and it was also confusing me because I kept like getting the wrong answer since. But I don't know, maybe it's just the carrot, or maybe maybe it's just that messed me up, but I don't know, I got the first one wrong, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I just asked her
It
about
could
it.
be the carrot, it could be how you're keying it in, and I can't answer that because this one should have been 2.75, and because that's a -3, if I were to move it to the numerator, it'd be a +3, so it'd be 2.75 times 10 to the third, so I moved it the other way 3 instead of what you did. You moved it.
But why would you flip it up instead of just doing 2.75 divided by?
Well, you can in your calculator.
Because I did that, but I think I got it wrong because I did the carrot, and so I was like, what am I doing wrong?
That's the only, I mean, if you're putting in a carrot and the EE, I don't know what it does, because I've never done that. We'll find out real quick. 2.75 divided by 1 should be here. See, mine is, it won't even let me do that. 2.75 times divided by 1 should be -3 is not.
Okay, because I was so confused by that, because I got an answer, but I was like, well, none of these options I answer. So like, I was like, do I just move it? Because I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, it's like that one. And it was
It was
wrong.
supposed to go the other
And
way.
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna wait.
So when you have a -3 in the denominator, another way you can do it is 1 over 1 times 10 to the -3. You can take that 10 to the -3, and if you move it to the numerator, it becomes a +3. So it's really the same as 2.75 times 10 to the third. If you move it out of the denominator into the numerator, it flips its sign.
Okay, the way that was set up, it confused me so much, because like, how is that, how, like, since it was like.
Well, but you were dividing by a really tiny number. Because technically, another way you can do it is to write it out the 1 times 10 to the, because if you write out 1 times 10 to the -3, that is 0.001. So you're dividing 2.75 by a really tiny number. A big number divided by a small number is going to be a bigger number.
So, oh yeah, also, okay, that helps, because and also, so there's not, for the ed puzzle, since I got one question wrong, and then there's like only one more, does that mean I'll get 50% on it?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the way it normally goes. If there's only 2 questions, it's half of it.
Like, how many points total is it?
I think it's like a total towards your grade, like 1 point of your grade or 1.5 points of your grade.
Okay, yeah. Also, have any scientists in general been playing yet?
I got somebody to send me one before I put up the list, and then the other one was Rosalind Franklin.
That's another thing. Okay. I think, okay. Hopefully the one I pick isn't the other one.
Well, so far, no, the other one was before I even put up the list, so it's not even, it's a male instead of female. I'm developing a female periodic table of chemists, so.
Okay, so I actually had no idea there wasn't a puzzle, is that what the class size?
No.
And where do I find that?
If you go into your online classroom, like you were going in, and you go into today's folder, or this week's folder, at the very bottom, it says that.
Thank you so much. I was thinking the wrong.
It's gonna be the same thing as the group, So like, they said these grades, I was like, oh. Grade work. And I found out the point scheme that you were talking about last class. Then I checked it out.
And then email so that you can do it about this happening. The thing is, yeah, the homework I switched, but I didn't switch the credits. They're due the same day as the homework, but they're not assigned so early.
Oh, I did that in school.
Yeah, just send me an email and I'll reopen it. Then we'll probably only have a day to get it done. But it
If I
should be
see your
fairly
email
straightforward.
today, do I submit it by tomorrow?
That's probably what I'll do.
And I don't know about the homework. So I got the question wrong, but I did it in my calculator and I picked the one that was like this, and it's just my calculator. So it's like, is that
Okay, the
wrong?
problem is it's not written as divided by 1 times 10 to the 83, you've got it multiplied by.
It was the wrong one?
It was 2.75 divided by. Here, you write it out so that you see the units. That is your cube. But in that particular case, it was 2.75 divided by the 1 times 10 to the minus 3.
But how did they get the same answer?
Well, if you put that answer in and they counted it wrong, that's the reason.
On the ed one?
Oh, that's on that puzzle?
Mhm.
I have to look at it. Because 2.75 times 10 to the negative 3 would be 0.00275. So I don't know without looking at that puzzle. So again, you put the question in the email, so that I actually go back and look at
Okay. And your office hours, you have office hours for next week.
it. 9 to 10 in the morning, or you can email me, and we can try to set something else up.
Okay, and like outside children, like outside this class, like, do you know how to like get a hold of that? Like,
So the library, if you go out to the, now,
student center?
student success, the Office of Student Success, the library has tutoring hours. And you just find somebody that's a chemist.
I have one more question. I signed up for, you posted something, it was like coffee beans, like extra credit. I signed up, and they sent me an email. Is that all? I just log into that Zoom.
You're
take
just gonna
notes?
log on to that next week and take notes.
Okay. Oh, thank you.